Alright, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Carlos, licensed broker and advisor. I've helped over thousands of individuals and families get the health coverage that they need. Today we have a very interesting topic. We are going to be talking about what the health insurance world was like before the Affordable Care Act, before Obamacare was a thing, before the ACA was established. What was health insurance like? So we could actually see and compare the difference between then and now. Okay, so let's get into this. Very, very interesting. Lots to talk about. Make sure to like and subscribe because it truly helps out the channel a lot. I'll see you there. All right, so first of all, I wanted to make this video because usually health insurance as a topic right now is very hated, right? You never really see people's good opinions, people's good reviews. Everyone only likes to, voice their opinions on the bad stuff, right? But I have a news flash for you. Health insurance before the Affordable Care Act was much, much worse, okay? I'm going to be talking about that. And I saw this post on Reddit that was really, really interesting. It asked this question, so we're going to go through actual real-life stories just so you could see. Now, some of you may realize, I'm a little bit young. I was not really around during that time to see truly what health insurance was like. So I'm only going to be going off accounts of, other people and what's in the history books. Health insurance before the Affordable Care Act was a mess, right? It was like the Wild West, okay? It was not as established as it is right now. And I know it is not perfect right now, and there's a lot of things that, need to be worked on, but just imagine health insurance back then, much worse than it is right now. So for starters, I'm going to be going through a little bit of some points, and then I'm going to show you real life examples of stories because it's insane, right? It's actually crazy. So first of all, plans had an annual or lifetime cap after you hit a certain dollar amount. So which means that the insurance company could just stop paying at once you hit that limit. They would not really help you. Once you go to the doctor after that or you need a surgery, good luck, you're on your own, right? That doesn't really happen anymore now with the out-of-pocket maximum, and then once you reach that, everything else is covered throughout the whole year for free. That was not a thing in the past, right? So really, that's terrible, right? So also, insurance companies weren't required to cover basic services. So imagine things like maternity cares for mothers, right? Mental health, you needed certain prescriptions that they could have denied you coverage, right? They simply just weren't required to actually cover that, right? So things like that that was actually what our healthcare system was like. That is actually mind-boggling, right? That's actually insane. And they could actually completely deny you or charge you way, way more if you had pre-existing conditions. So like now, since one of the laws in the Affordable Care Act is that no matter your pre-existing health condition, you can get coverage, right? No company at all could deny you for a pre-existing health conditions, but it was not like that before, right? So if you had anything done, you had any kind of condition, good luck. Again, you're on your own. So actually, I can't believe that existed, right? So getting sick could pretty much bankrupt you, right? So now let's talk about this Reddit post that we saw here. People in their 40s or older, can you share stories of what life was like before the Affordable Care Act? So I know our current system is broken in many ways, but I'm not sure folks understand how much worse it was before. So there's real life stories here that I want you to see. So once you turn 18, you were completely dropped from most parent insurance companies. If you were pregnant and changed jobs and a new insurance company, that pregnancy was considered a pre-existing condition. So can you imagine that a pregnancy was considered a pre-existing condition and insurance companies could drop your coverage? So now once you have to give birth, you're on your own with that huge medical bill. And people complain now about the insurance companies? I don't understand that. So being female was considered a pre-existing health condition. Look, let's just read that again. Being a woman was considered a pre-existing health condition. I mean, If you didn't have a job without insurance, you didn't have coverage unless you went to an actual insurance agent and bought one of those catastrophic policies. You could call around and doctors and ask if they accepted cash in place of insurance. If you needed a prescription, you paid full price. The local health department did see patients, but wait to get an appointment was weeks long. You toughed it out or went to the ER and then ended up with a massive bill if you file a hardship request and they waived the bill or reduced it. So again, like I previously mentioned before, it's pretty much just the Wild West. This person said basically half the country didn't have health insurance. And people just, again, they love to voice their bad opinions, but they really don't realize or don't remember how bad they had it before, right? How costly it was. Unreal. Obviously, limits on mental health treatments, up to 20 visits max. Went several years out of 20 without health insurance because I couldn't stay on my dad's policy and my terrible job didn't offer it. A very common experience for Gen X. Wow, many people worked with jobs they absolutely hated to have health insurance. Look at that. Can you imagine that? Just working a job so you could have a better health plan, a certain job that you didn't really even like. Hospitals lost millions in unpaid bills. The ER became a primary care center, tying up docs who needed to see critical patients. My cousin had a history of seizures. She finally did a job and found coverage, but due to the pre-existing conditions clause, it was not covered. Wow, she even died. That's really sad to hear that. So one of the main factors that you see a lot is the pre-existing health conditions. That law, the Obamacare law, the Affordable Care Act, changed everything. I mean, can you imagine being denied when you have to have a child? You have to go into labor. You have to deliver the baby. You just get completely denied. That's not a thing anymore, right? You can have any pre-existing conditions that you want, and you can still pretty much apply just fine. So, wow. Again, this person says there was a lot of fear about pre-existing health conditions. I sold health insurance pre-ACA, had a 40-year-old woman who had broken her hand with a full recovery 4 years before applying. They excluded her entire arm from the shoulder down for 10 years. Just bizarre behavior because they could get away with it. I mean, some people think insurance companies are predatory and bit of a bullies now. Imagine then. I would love to hear your stories, right? If any of you were around, obviously a lot of you were around, but please share your stories in the comments. I would love to chat. I was not around during that time, I really didn't know. But I really want to know your stories of how you got treated by the insurance companies. How did you go to the doctors? How did all of that work? Because it's very interesting because it's insane, right? Wow. This person says the biggest ACA accomplishment was removal of pre-existing conditions exclusions. Yeah, I mean, that's number one. I mean, everybody has certain conditions, right? It's almost impossible this day and age to just be completely healthy with nothing wrong with you, right? So that's huge. Guys, I'm a licensed agent for many, many years now. I always, repeat the same thing, broken record. We help people find here. I help you find the best plan at the best price. That is an absolute guarantee. Health insurance was really bad then, but it is not today. There's tons and tons of plans that are great for you folks out there. So if you're listening right now, call the number that pops up on the screen here, 305-970-8583. 305-970-8583. You will get in contact with me, Carlos the broker. I will help you out. Many, many years of experience. We will find you the best plan at the best price. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, learned a little something about the Wild West of insurance, of the health insurance world back then. So thank you all so much. I will see you on another one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.